we are doing Rusty's Sudoku stream, and I am going to load up the puzzle that we have for today, puzzle number 794 from the Sudoku Easy 1000 Puzzles collection from the Sudoku Store. I am not affiliated with the Sudoku Store other than I've chatted with them a couple of times, and I'm the person currently posting the puzzle every day when I get done with streaming the previous day's puzzle. So let's get this finished up here. I've got 2 more squares to populate. Each of these squares has 9 cells. That is the terminology I tend to use. Not everybody does, though. And when I hit the validate button here, you get 20 seconds that you can grab a copy of the image or of the puzzle and see if you can get a start on it ahead of me. If it validated, which it did. So you've got another 15 seconds to go, because some of you are jumping in here without having any experience of seeing this puzzle at all. And I understand that. All right, we're over 20 seconds now. Let's see, one of these 2 is a 1. Down here I've got 3 possibilities, another 3 there, and 70 possibilities there, 3 possibilities there, and 4 here. So let's go on to 2s. We've got 3 possibilities there, 3 possibilities there, 4 here, 3 here, 5 here, and everything's open there and there. 3s, we've got a 3 coming in here. Here we've got 2 possibilities for a 3. No, we've got here 2 possibilities. Up here we've also got 2, and that's not a 3, that's a 3. All right, 4s. We've got 3 possibilities here, a 4 here, 3 possibilities here, 3 possibilities there, 4 possibilities there, and 4 possibilities there. So let's go to 5s. We have a 5 here, another one here. It means one of these 2 is a 5. I've got 4 possibilities here. Yeah. Let me see if I can change something here. Might not be able to at this point. And problem I've got is this needs to be mono. There we go. I'm picking up a little extra noise in my right ear, which should be filtered out, but apparently isn't. All right, back to the puzzle. So 4 possibilities for a 5 here, 3 possibilities for a 5 here, 5 possibilities here, everything's open there. And up here we've got 4 possibilities, and 4 possibilities here if I missed mentioning that. 6, got a 6 here and here and here, so one of these 2 is a 6. Over here, I've got 3 possibilities. 3 possibilities there. 4 possibilities here. And I think I mentioned 2 possibilities here. All right, that's it for 6s. One of these 2 is going to be a 7. One of these 2 will be a 7. That means one of these 2 is a 7. Over here, one of these 2 is a 7. That can't be. So now one of these 2 is a 7. So none of these can be a 7. On any one of these 4 can be a 7. And any one of these 5 here can be a 7. So let's look at 8s. One of these 2 is an 8. One of these 2 is an 8. I've got 5 possibilities for an 8 here. 3 possibilities here. Here we've got 2 possibilities, which means we've really only got 2 possibilities here. And then up here, I've got 2 possibilities as well, because these 2 block off this set. This one blocks off these. So these 2 are the only ones there. That means this can't be an 8, which means I've got 2 possibilities here. 9s. I've got a 9 here. This 9 says these can't be a 9. These can't be a 9 because of this, so we've got 2 possibilities for a 9 there, 2 possibilities there. Let's see, anything else? This 9 here says one of these 2 has to be a 9. One of these 2 gets to be a 9. That says that's not a 1, that's a 1, that's a 7. We'll see if that becomes useful later. It possibly will. All right, so 9's here and here. That means this is a 9, which works with these 2 being a 9. Got 4 possibilities here. That means one of these 2 is a 9, yep. And down here, too many possibilities. All right, since we filled in a couple, let's run through the rest of these again. So this becomes a 1, this a 9. We end up with 2 possibilities for 2, 3, 4, 2 possibilities for a 5. So this can't be a 5. That's a 5, a 7, an 8, a 6. Got a 1 here, so we need a 2 in either here or here. This can no longer be an 8. That's a 9. This is an 8. All right. We got the 2's here, so that can't be a 2. That's a 2. This becomes a 4. Okay, 7-3 pair here. And let's see. It's an 8 here. And none of them can be a 9. 1s are possible. 2s are obviously possible. 3 and 4 are not. 5s, all of these could be a 5. Only these 3 can be 6s. We've got these 2 for 7s, these 2 for 8s, and these 3 could potentially be a 9. However, neither of these can be a 9. These are blocked from this 9. So one of these 2 is a 9, which means one of these 2 is a 9. Okay. Let's see, 1s. We've got 2 possibilities for a 1 here. 2's. So one of these two is a 2. Neither of these can be a 2. So we end up with 5 possibilities. Ah, that can't be a 7. That's a 7. One of these 3 is a 2. How about 4s? This becomes a 4. So one of these 2 is a 2. And it can't be this one, so 2 and 9. That leaves a 5 here. One of these 3 is a 1. One of these 2 is a 2. 3. One of these 2 is a 4. We got a 5. One of these 2 is a 6. So that means one of these 3 is going to be a 1. Let's see if we can do anything here. Oh, hey, that's going to be an 8, 9, 1. So not a 1 here. And let's back that up. It's not an 8. So what are my options here? Got 1s, 2s, 3s are here, 4s here. One of these 3 can be a 5. And that comes to being what I can put up here. Tells me this can't be a 6, and this says this can't be a 6. So I've got an 8 in the wrong place down here. Let's clean that up. We just know that that can't be a 9. That's a 9. One of these 2 is an 8. One of these 2 is a 6. We've got neither of these can be a 5, but one of these, any of these 4 can be a 5. Got a 6 here, 7's here. One of these 2 is an 8. Let's see, 2's are missing. And those are going to be one of these 3. All right. So what we just know is that this is going to be a 6. That means one of these 2 is a 6. We got a 1, 2, 3. That makes this a 4. So not a 4 here. That's a 4. And that works with that 4 down here. And the 4 is over here. So here we've got 9's and 1's. 6's and 2's here. All right, so one of these is a 6, one of these is a 6. So here, that gets to be a 6. So turns that into a 9. Means that's a 1, that's a 9. Okay, now up here we've got these 2 that can be 1's. And I've got 3 possibilities for a 1 there. 2's. Can't be up here, so one of these 3 is going to be a 2. Got a 3 here, 4 here. One of these 4 is going to be a 5. One of these 2 is going to be a 6. I've got 3 possibilities for a 7. 2 possibilities for an 8 and a 9. All right. Can we do anything closer here yet? Not really. I think, oh wait, this one's going to be an 8. Because none of these can be an 8. That says this can't, so that's an 8. So not an 8 here. one of these two has to be an 8, so that's an 8, that's a 1. Because I can't put a 1 here. I can put, nope, I can't put, this is going to be our 2. So we've got 1s and 2s, 3s here, 4. This is going to be a 5. So 2 here, 5 down here, and this becomes, that can't be a 5, and that a 5 at the same time. So I've made some assumptions that don't look like they can be the case. So 1, 2, 3s. That turns this into a 4, this into a 3. One of these two is a 5. It'd have to be this one. 6, that would make this a 7, 7, and 3. And that's blocked out now. All right, let's go back to the very beginning. And I'm going to flood fill the entire puzzle. Kind of more reliable. Well, one of these 3 is a 1. One of these 3 is a 1. One of these 2 is a 1. Problem is, while it's more reliable, it can be a little confusing to look through the flood of options at times. However, in this game, it does highlight collisions for me, where I've got earmarks that can't be. Not dropping in 2s or any digit until we're absolutely sure it is the only thing I can put there. All right. 3, for example. This and this say it can't be either of these. This and this say it can't be either of these. So this becomes a 3. Likewise, now we've got 2 possibilities for a 3 here, which means this gets to be a 3. And this gets to be a, nope, I've got a 3 there already, below it here. So one of these 2 becomes a 3. Okay, 4s. Just speeding through some of this. Fives. 6s. Sevens. Eights. Get an 8 here, that turns that into a 2. So now we can clean up the 2s over here. 8 there. Okay, that makes this an 8. Oop. 3 possible 8s here. That can't be an 8, so it's going to be one of these two. So that's not an 8. And that means one of these two is an 8. Down here, one of these two is an 8. One of these two is an 8. And 9s. We got a 9 here. This becomes a 9. This becomes a 9. This becomes a 9. One of these two is a 9. Since that's a 2, that's going to be a 9 here and a 4 here. Not a 2 here or here. One of those will be a 9. We've got 3 possibilities for a 9 there. All right, I'm missing something here. Got a 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. On one of these 2 is a 9. All right, so that's not a 4. 6, 2 pairs there. Up here we've got a 7 and a 1. Not a 1 there or there. That's a 1. 5, 2 pair here. Can clean up some 1s here. I've got a 5 going in there. Clean up the 5s here. I was cleaning up, or taking it as a 5 because the only other option was a 4, which goes here. This becomes a 7, so we can clean up the 7s, 5s. This becomes a 3 and an 8, and a 6 here. Turns that into a 5. Clean up the 4 and 5. There. Clean up the 7s. So one of these is going to be a 4. 7s, 1 or 2. 8, 6 up here as well as the 4s. Not an 8, so that's a 5. Not a 5 or a 3, so that's a 7. Not a 7. That becomes a 9 and a 3 there. 2 here. Not a 2 there or there. That's a 1. That's an 8. How about 8, not 9? Not a 5. That's a 2. 5 goes down here. Clean up 5s here. Clean up 2s. Clean up 1s. There's more 2s to clean up. More 5s. And a 9. There's a 5 there. That becomes a 1. A 6 here. 9 there. 5 here. And we get to tidy up those in a bit. So that can't be a 9. Can't be a 1. That's a 4. That's a 1. That's a 9. This becomes a 2 and a 6. Not a 2, not a 1, not a 6, not a 6, not a 4, not a 1. We get a 6 and an 8 here, or 4 here. 7, 2, a 7 here, 2 here, 1 here, 2, 8, and 7 here. 24 minutes, which is not really great for a simple or easy puzzle, but it's not simple, so we'll accept it. All right. I want to say thanks to everybody who joined in. I hope you have a good day, and we will talk with you again tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.